I was gonna run 10 kilometers in under 40 minutes. That was my goal a bit over a week ago, and I tried to do this because I just wanted to challenge myself mentally, and it was also a huge milestone for my own my own training and my own exercising, because it was a very, very tough challenge, because my personal best on like 5 kilometers is a bit under 20 minutes, and now I was going to do that times 2 basically, so was going to be very, very hard. And I was running on the treadmill at the gym, and I put on the right speed, and I was thinking to myself that this is going to hurt a lot, because I don't really like running for a very, very long time, like 30-40 minutes, something like that. I don't like that. I would rather do like intervals where you feel like you're gonna basically like die in the moment because you're so tired. I would rather do that, because then it's over in like 20 minutes, but you've also gotten the same result essentially, or even better results. But anyway, I started to run, and after about 3 or 4 minutes, after about 1 kilometer, I felt extremely tired, and it was hurt. My ankle started to hurt, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm just going to stop and just do intervals instead, because now I've done like 3 or 4 minutes on the treadmill, and it was hurting a lot. And I thought to myself that I might as well just quit. And when I ran around 3 kilometers, I thought, I'm 33% in on this path towards 10 kilometers, and now I can't really quit, because if I just keep going, I'm at 5 kilometers, and then when I'm at 5 kilometers, I'm 50% there, right? So it's not much more. Then I just gotta keep going. And I was thinking to myself that I want to record a video about this, because I wasn't necessarily planning on doing a video about this, but I was thinking to myself that discomfort kills dreams, because when you are in a very, very uncomfortable situation, like after 2 or 3 kilometers, my ankles were hurting, and I was running, and my breath was kind of like, my heart was beating really, really fast, and I needed to like pause and catch my breath, but I didn't do it. I kept going. And when you are that uncomfortable, you just want to get out of it. And especially if you are someone who have had a cold plunge before, you can actually relate to this a lot, because when you're in the cold, for example, like you're taking a cold shower, you're in a cold plunge, you're in an extremely cold environment, you just want to get out of there because it's so painful, and you forget about all of your dreams, you forget about the reason that you were there in the first place. So after about 5 kilometers, I decided that I have to keep going. And I remembered something that I learned in a book from David Goggins, probably the toughest man in the world. And I believe that this rule actually saved me from like completing this, because I was thinking to myself that I actually want to quit now. I ran 5 kilometers in under 20 minutes, and that's just about right, I thought. But I kept going because of this thing. It was the 1 second rule by David Goggins. The 1 second rule points that if you can just keep going 1 more second and not quit, then you have actually succeeded, because you've just got to make that 1 second rule, 1 second decision every single time, and that is what's going to lead you towards your goal. Because if you do that, then you will run for 30 more seconds, and then after 30 more seconds you can remind yourself of the 1 second rule, and you have to just keep going and keep pushing yourself and trying to visualize the moment that you will get out of the discomfort. And after about like 7 kilometers, I thought, I can't quit now, so I upped the pace a little bit, and I was kind of like I was running a bit faster, but it was hurting a lot, and I was getting extremely tired. And eventually I finished it in around 39 and a half minutes, and it was a very, very great feeling. But I actually felt like I was gonna pass out, and the person next to me actually said to me like, did you complete it in under 40 minutes? I hadn't really spoke to him earlier, but he just saw my pace and all of that, and I actually said yes. But it was extremely tiring, and it was an amazing feeling that came afterwards. And a concept that I want to introduce you to is that when it hurts, you forget about all of your dreams. And this is also a concept from the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, is that once you're in the cold, once you are doing something that sucks, once you're running, once you're doing something that you basically hate to do, you just want to get out. And when it hurts, you're not thinking about like, oh, my goal for 2025 is to run 10 kilometers in under 40 minutes, or to bench this much, or whatever. You just want to get out of the situation. That's kind of just your primal brain, like acting out what it has to do in order for you to survive. But it's going to be painful, and that's why I did this, because I want to challenge myself personally, and I want to see if I can actually do this and if I can complete it successfully. And the pain pleasure thing is very, very interesting as well, is that once you do something that hurts a lot in the moment, you'll get a huge pleasure afterwards. But if you're doing something that is extremely pleasurable right now, like for example, you're laying in bed and you're scrolling on your phone for half an hour, your brain is getting a lot of dopamine, a lot of pleasure from it. But afterwards, you might feel very, very guilty, or you might feel like you haven't actually applied yourself to the things you were supposed to do. And that's the thing that you have to understand, is that no matter what, you will always feel some level of pain. And once you start to introduce yourself to this pain that you have actually chosen to feel, like you're running, you're taking in a cold shower, you will actually start to like it. You will start to like the feeling, because your mindset switches, and you think to yourself that this is why no one else wants to do it, because it sucks, and everybody who's gonna attempt to become the best version of themselves has to go through this process. And that's why I will become the best version of myself, because I've actually applied myself to these things, and I'm trying every single day my best towards becoming a better version of myself. And that's pretty much all I want to say. And this isn't to brag or anything, but it's just kind of to let you know that life is going to be painful sometimes, and you have to just ignore it to some degree, and you've just got to keep on pushing and keep on challenging yourself, and that's what's going to lead you towards the end goal that you actually want to have. And yeah, I'm extremely proud of myself for this, and I really, really do hope that you got some inspiration and some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.